Last week I asked my niece, who loves art, if she was going to art school after high school. She said, well, I'm really into science too, and my mom says I need a balance between art and science, so I think I'll be a marine biologist. I started telling her about an arts residency at NASA and robots that dance. It made me realize how rarely art is included in conversations about science.
In 2009, the Ontario Arts Council initiated a pilot project to support artist residencies in the healthcare sector. We were given the opportunity to work with the Four Villages Community Health Centre. In our first conversation with staff, we worked together to create the theme, Journeys to Health, reflecting that health is not a goal, but a process. Over the next year, we used audio, photography, visual arts, and digital storytelling as tools for staff and clients to tell the stories of their lives.
One afternoon, I joined a youth leadership group in Swansea Mews. I sent the youth out on a scavenger hunt, searching for images that would share what they cared about around their social housing complex. I asked them to describe what you could see in the photo and what you couldn't see. Jonah picked a photo of himself and told about what he could see.
I see a young boy standing on a lower level than me. He is looking up at me with a blank look on his face like he does not care. He is wearing red shoes, black shorts, a black and white Detroit t-shirt, a red and black fitted hat, a black do-rag.
And then he got stuck. He didn't know how to talk about what he couldn't see in the photograph. I asked him to tell us who he was behind the image. He just shrugged and gave a blank stare. I thought I'd lost him. He returned 15 minutes later with a story.
What you don't see is a young boy that never grew up with his parents, moving from place to place, wondering if he could ever love anyone in the world. But he could, because first he had to learn how to trust, and then he found a group of people that needed him as much as he needed them.
Sometimes I'm afraid that I'll treat my son the way my family treated me. I want to put myself first, and for people to love me for me, for my son to love me for me to love me for me.
I believe that as I volunteer and I meet new people, I will have the courage and motivation to think out of the box and venture into unknown areas.
I was one of the founding members of my building's first tutoring club. Seeing the kids walk in every day excited to start doing their homework made me feel ecstatic.
There was a steep learning curve for all of us to figure out how to work together. Sometimes it felt like we were on two sides, art and science, and we couldn't see each other's point of view. All of the workshops with clients had been completed, and they were a great success. But there was one gap. We had been trying to organize an arts workshop for staff, but we just couldn't make it happen. Right near the end of the project, we were invited to lead a session at the staff team building day. And we were scared. What if they didn't see the connection between our work and theirs? What if they didn't care? We asked them to think about their own journeys to health and started sentences for them to finish. At first, it was hard for people to put pen to paper. There were no right answers. It was about finding the courage to be creative. We broke them into small groups, and in a circle, they shared their stories.
Sandra had recently returned from maternity leave. In one sentence, she told us about life and loss and terror. In another, she told us about joy and hope and survival. Listening to her story, I was able to see beyond her role as a manager. From then on, we were invested in each other.
When not knowing if you will be deported in the near future or how you will feed your family weighs heavily on the mind, being present seems like a child's fairy tale.
I am coping with my anxiety and growing through my meditation, journaling, art class, and here at Digital Storytelling, where I am putting myself out there.
When he was placed at the hospital, I was graduated from my old duties to become, the translator.
When we were planning the final event, we really worked together as a team. deciding on what kind of event it would be, who we wanted to invite, and how we wanted to celebrate the project. That night, everyone came together. Staff, clients, funders, artists, the whole community was there. Guests wandered around the halls looking at the art installation, listening to the soundscapes, and watching the digital stories. The executive director, Almerinda, shared her observations. She said, "We talk about the social determinants of health all the time, but so few people know what that really means."
Le explico que mi hijo es diferente, pero que yo lo amo mucho y que su nombre no es monstruo, su nombre es Axel.
Later, my stick began to sound the drum. I knew then that I was taking full part in my healing journey.
These stories of people dealing with their health as they struggle with issues like violence, poverty, and immigration bring that theory to life. They add voices to the conversation.